Hello, welcome to my little corner of the world. This is my house. This is my plant. So I promised to do a follow-up, and so that's what I'm doing. So let me show you here in the house. This is where, when you saw the picture, this is the inside of my house. And living room there, kitchen through that way. And I had to move my table and chair away from this wall. So I completely cleaned out this section so that the monks could do their blessing ceremony, of which there's a picture on the thumbnail. So if you don't know what happened with the plant, you can watch the other video. And so now I thought I'd go ahead and update you. You saw before that most of the leaves were all hit off, like with a stick or something. And so here's the plant as it is now. Now there were, you can see right here is a little bit of leaves growing here. Yep. Here's a little bit of leaf growing. There had been some starting like this, and they were about, get down here at the bottom, as big as these here. And they were randomly around. So about maybe 3 weeks ago, it was only like 3 or 4 days after I made the other video that all of those new growth leaves had been picked off one by one. Not only were all the leaves picked off, I mean, that outraged me quite a bit. And as you can see, I've since kind of put up a little fence on this side, on both sides. Okay. But not only that, but there was a plan to actually injure me. And that was a huge outrage. And also it made me think about somebody else who's responsible, which I'll get to. But first, let me show you how they set a trap to injure me. Right here is a little ramp. And that's for my, because you'll notice, I'll come back inside for a moment. I keep my motorcycle parked inside. Most people will even park their cars inside. So I get back in the evening. I went on a boat cruise at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I left. I got back about 9:30. And as I came up, I've got a ramp. Where is it? There. And I came up the ramp and I stopped here on the patio, and my headlights were on the plant, and it's like, oh my God, someone picked off all the new growth of the leaves. And anyway, there was kind of an altercation with my neighbors, but I'm not going to bother getting into that. Because then what I noticed, let me put this down a little bit, was that the rug was kind of like this. And I'm like, that's odd. And so I looked at it closer, and what it really was that this had been moved about this far. Okay. This far away. Can see. Whoops. Okay. In an attempt that as I bring my moto into the house, it would fall over, and I would fall over with it, and I would get hurt. Okay. Now, if you put this over, you see it doesn't really work very well. It falls down. So the person who did the trap got a piece of cardboard and put the cardboard here first, which I have since thrown away. They put a piece of cardboard here, and then they put this over it so that it wasn't like drooping. So that changes everything. Because the little boy who I had talked about before, he is, unfortunately for him and his family, but he's the reality is he's not smart enough. They like to use the word clever here in Cambodia, chalat. He's not clever enough to think of that or to do it and make it happen. It's the reality. So that means somebody else did it. And there's only one other person here that could do that. And that would be this neighbor next door who has a shop. Those are orange ice chests where they keep drinks and things. It's either her son or her grandson who has done things before. One time my son was working on his motorcycle out here on the patio, and you'll notice here, I'll walk out a little bit. So there's balconies, right? And there's her house, and like on the other side of the tree, there's also balconies. Okay, see, all the houses have, it's the same design, right? So from her balcony right there, hidden behind the tree, he threw down a bag of like water, ice, some trash, whatever. He threw it from up there onto my son's head. Well, he missed my son's head, but he was aiming for my son's head. Now, so I came downstairs and I talked to the mother who runs the shop and said, "Hey, your son threw this down." I'm guessing it's her son. Someone said it's a grandson. I'm not really sure. I think it's just, I think it's a son, but whatever he is. I can call him own bro because that's a child is own. And bro is like his boy, own bro. He threw it. So she went, she asked, did somebody throw this down? And he was like, no, not me. No. And so she said to me, no, he didn't do it. And I'm like, look, there's nobody from the other side. Someone, and it wasn't from my balcony. So someone from your house threw this bag trying to hit my son on the head. And my son's no saint. Okay. He had a girlfriend. Back then they were fighting a lot and everything. Not good energies with that. Okay. But this kid apparently somehow has developed some kind of hatred. And anyway, then he finally admitted it. Then she really got like mad at him because I said, there's someone from your house. There's only two people, the younger son and then someone else that was like a distant family that was helping work at the shop. One of them had to do it. There's no one else. Someone from your house did it. And then he admitted it because she got really mad at him and he admitted it. Okay, so he has this track record, right? Now, I suspect that the original beating of the plant that knocked off a lot of the leaves is what, but could have been the other little boy down that I've mentioned, that I've referred to. That if you haven't seen the other video yet, he's definitely the facial features of Down syndrome, but he's also got a mental capacity of some form of autism, or probably not politically correct, but some form of mental retardation. I don't know what his diagnosis is, so therefore I can't use an absolute correct term, or if he's even been diagnosed. Anyway, so he could have done the initial thing, but see, this is where people who grow up with just street smart sometimes, if they don't develop critical thinking and logic, they can't put two and two together. and they don't realize that other people can put two and two together. So if that little boy on his own started beating plants, then he would be beating everybody's plants, right? He doesn't have the capacity. James, are you going to work? Okay. Just want to check because the dog ran out with him. But if he's not actually going to work, he's just going to because now we use the other shop that's on. There's two houses that have shops. So he's just going over the shop. If he was to start attacking plants on his own because he thinks it's fun or whatever, he would be attacking these plants. He doesn't have the capacity to only target one person. He doesn't have it. Okay. So therefore that leads me with hindsight to go back and say, aha, own bro from this house probably pointed him at the plant and like, start hitting the plant. It'll be fun. Hit the plant. So he just does what he's told. Okay, starts hitting it. That's one possibility. The other possibility is that he never even hit it at all, and it was all this kid. But I think, again, using logic, I think that he probably incited the little boy to hit it the first time. And when he got in trouble, the little boy got in trouble. He's like, aha. So now I can do anything to this plant and he's going to get in trouble. Nobody's going to suspect me. All I need to do is say it wasn't me. And everybody believes me. And that's what's happened. So there was a second attack. I'm not sure with the other video if it was just the first attack or the second attack. The first attack knocked off half of the leaves. The second attack knocked off all the leaves. And then subsequently, which is part of my follow-up, all of the little leaves that were growing back got pinched off at the same time as the trap with the ramp, with the motorcycle ramp. So that, I believe, both of the picking of the leaves and the setting of the trap are definitely the young boy next door, own bro. So that leads us to the pictures on the thumbnail, and that is the blessing. So I went to the local pagoda because I try to live within the culture here. I'm not here to enforce some other Western culture on Cambodia. I'm here to live in Cambodia and embrace their culture. So I went to the pagoda and had the monks come. Now, just personally, I'll put it out there. I'm not actually Buddhist. I am Christian. I believe in Jesus, but I really don't have any Christian religion that I follow. So that being said, I believe in resonance. I believe in connecting with God. And so when, God reaches the hearts of people, no matter where they are, what country, what language they speak, or what religion they were raised in. When someone in their heart seeks God, he's going to reach out to them. And so I believe that with the chanting and with the resonance of that chanting, and with me as well, thinking along in terms of Yahweh, God, Jesus, and the blood of Christ, and the what, like they bless some water and then they sprinkle it around, and I'm in my energy, I'm considering that to be a baptism of the house, a baptism in Christ, a baptism of the plant, for its healing and for its protection. And so anyway, that's, and okay. So being part of the culture though, and having the monks come here, also sends a message to the neighbors, that this is being followed, this is being done. So if you hurt this plant again, you're going to be directly crossing the monk's blessing, which is serious for them too, right? So there's the reality of it, which I feel partaking of in my own way with the resonance of the chanting that the monks are doing, and the water blessing, and how they perceive it as well. So it's a win-win on that way. And then they also tie the string. So this also has a spiritual connotation. And so we also, maybe the light is better this way. Also tied here. The plant, they are directly crossing the blessings of the monks. So that was today's Tuesday, and that was on Sunday. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But so that's my update with the plant, and I hope you have a great day wherever you are. Until next time.